back with another Coyle's Couch All Corner, number 18. It's Bad Joe's number at AC Milan. That's what we're dealing with. And I remember it's been a bit difficult trying to get us back on the back in the studio. But I was saying to Miguel Fratello, Owen Luciano, I'm like, season's on the line here for United. We have to do it after this game, win, lose, or draw. But during the game, what were you saying, OC? If we lose, not sure if we're coming down. Well, we didn't lose. And so, yeah, we're going to be talking about the United-Liverpool epic quarter-final match at Old Trafford, 4-3 to United. Looking at Ten Hag. Is he the guy in the immediate future? Should Ineos be looking to make a change? And then the Champions League fixtures, how are they falling out into going out to Atletico? Arsenal scraping through was it on penalties, Arsenal?
Yeah.
They got through on penalties. And looking at Italy, building up towards the Euros, we'll have a little glimpse at them. Obviously got some tough groups in the Nations League, in the European Cup, where we're going to defend our trophy. Don't know if I'm going to be bringing the trophy back in though, you know. But it's there. It's ours. We are champions. And but yeah, first of all, Man United 4, Liverpool 3, extra time, thriller, scintillating performance. Just going through the action. Obviously, McTominay coming in there with a first goal. United looking in command and then conceding 2 sloppy goals. Bruno getting caught there for the second. The first goal, almost a matter of time. They had a goal disallowed with offside to make it 2-1. And then Liverpool seemingly wasting a bit of time, keeping possession, not really going for the jugular, and eventually took Salah off, left the door ajar, and United stormed back through. Antony. I wanted the tiger, Antony. I've waited all year and you can't even give me the tiger. Antony came out there just to give us, you know, a bit, bring us back into, give us a bit of hope, but it's still not a done deal. And then, I'm sure we went down again, didn't we? 3-2. Looked
3-2, like Harvey Elliott with the deflection.
The deflection. It's a good strike, good build up from, is it Bradley? What's he called?
Yeah, the right back. But for me, it wasn't even so much about the build up. It was just a piece of luck. And sometimes you need a bit of luck in the games. And I thought he got a big slice of luck there. Harvey Elliott. They went 3-2 up, but you know they had 15 minutes in extra time, and the way that they'd controlled the game at 2-1, you thought that'd be enough to see it through.
Rashford missing a couple of really big chances, probably offside on both. The first one, glaring. Really, you just almost didn't know how he could miss it from there. But coming up trumps with a big goal. McTominay again, you know, threading in Rashford. We were screaming, give it to Diallo, you know, on the right hand side. It's perfect weight of ball, great finish. And then Rashford nearly finding McTominay, who slid in and just couldn't find the goal. And it looked like it was going to be a chance gone. Even though we were kind of lucky to be in the game at times, it looked like it was going to be a chance gone. But Diallo or Garnacho, who we're giving more of the plaudits to for that last goal. And Diallo closed it down like Cannavaro in 06 against Germany. Garnacho runs up and he waits. But you've got to deliver the ball. Can you deliver the ball? Yes, he can. And Diallo, though, it shuffles it away onto his left foot. He's got not a lot of room to aim at. Finds the inside of the far post. What a way. Allow me to reintroduce myself. You know what I mean? What a way to come back. So obviously, he came into United with the back header against Milan. It's been away at Sunderland. He's had some injury problems, but I like him. I'm a big fan. And today, he's repaid the faith, hasn't he? Let's be honest, though. So what were your biggest takeaways from that game? I mean, we can go all the way through the team, actually. Onana, how did you feel about him?
Onana, I think he's growing into the role. I remember speaking to a couple of Inter fans, and they said that for the first half of the season, you know, he was a little bit shaky, but he always comes good in the second part of the season. And I think, you know, you've got to have that that bedding in period. Obviously, he's at Manchester United, and for me, he's showing all the right characteristics of a goalkeeper, but I must admit I was a little bit worried at first whether he would fit into Manchester United or whether that role would be a bit too big for him. But I think I thought he played excellent today, and I'm starting to see what he's bringing to the team now. You can be comfortable at the back with the keeper, and I think he made some good saves today. You know, that one of Núñez was creeping in.
Do you know what though? The last couple of weeks when we've been talking, you've slowly been coming around to him, because you were pretty much, why have we made a move on De Gea, thrown Anna? It was absolutely unnecessary. We could have focused our attention in other areas, and I just felt like ultimately, if you want to get to the level you want to get to, comes down to your first 11. He's made a move for him in the Champions League. Some of the goals that were let in looked like they could be an issue if they were long-standing, but it looks like he's cleared that out. Last few weeks you seem to be more on board, and I was in your fantasy football team picking up a slew of points because of all the saves he's making week in, week out.
Yeah,
and big saves as well.
I like him. I think he's a good goalkeeper, but I like his character. I think you need that type of character in the net, and I think when you're there at Old Trafford and you can see him, you know, celebrating the goals, getting the fans on side, and even when he had a few poor games, the way he came out and just fronted up to the camera and just expressed that, you know, he does take full responsibility. I thought that showed real character, and I like Onana. I like his character, and I like what he's bringing to the team. So yeah, definitely happy with his performance today, and happy with him in general. I think we've got a goalkeeper there that, you know, if he carries on, he could be a real asset to us.
Wan-Bissaka.
Well, you know, I like Aaron.
I'm a big fan too. Spider-Man.
When I see the weightlifting gloves, I always get a bit excited. It's like he's up for war. And for me, I've always said this about Wan-Bissaka. I think 1v1 defending, the game is kind of changed to a degree with possession football, but there are dangerous players out there, and they're the ones that cost the most money. You can just turn a game on its head, and I thought the way he went to task against Salah at the start of the game was fantastic, and I think he had a good game. But
I think he can add him to his notebook. I know that they scored 3 goals. I know that Salah got a goal, but I think he can add him to Neymar, Mbappe, Sterling, list of attackers that you've gone into a game with, an elite attacker, and he's just locked him up for the most part. Now, obviously, Salah's evaded that, but that's not a Wan-Bissaka. Not only defensively, though, in transition with the ball, fantastic. First game back, looked like he's never been out at all.
The only concern I've got with Wan-Bissaka going forward is what's the issue? What's the issue there? Why is it because he's been injured? Why he's not been playing, or does Ten Hag want to play him?
He's had an injury.
Because, you know, looking at Wan-Bissaka, we can move on to Dalot, and I think he's been unbelievable.
Well, Dalot against Man City, I saw him a couple of times just taking 2 or 3 players out with dribbling, you know, just getting the ball and thinking there's nothing on, so do you know what? I'm going to just run forward with it. I've been impressed with him all season. And the thing is, if Wan-Bissaka was fit, I'm pretty sure he would have been. You know, having seen what he went for in our biggest game of the season here against Liverpool, I think he would have gone for Wan-Bissaka right back, Dalot left back. I only think he went like this because of Salah today, and I think it.
Yeah, I think it worked.
I think it's proved dividends. Okay, Varane.
What I like about Varane is that he can use both feet. I think as a centre back, when you're as comfortable as him with his left and his right foot, that when you want to play football out from the back, it's good having somebody like that there. I like Varane. I just think he's a cool head under pressure, but I do think that our best centre-back pairing is when Martinez is alongside him.
Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't be looking to get rid of Varane though, would you?
I mean, obviously, I don't know the contractual situation. You know, I don't know how much money he's earning, what the situation is. I think there's concerns with his fitness, and in particular his knee. I think that's why Real Madrid sold him in the first place. However, if he can stay fit when he plays, he definitely gives us more. Now,
this season, he's not been absent due to injury. It's been probably like fifth most available this season. You know, not only had a stint out of the team, but yeah, that has been a concern in the last couple of years. But this year in particular, I think, you know, he has looked like he's been available. he obviously had there is some issues somewhere along there. But for me, I wouldn't be looking to get rid of a proven champion. A proven champion that I think our defense is better off with him, and probably with him and Martinez. We definitely need reinforcements because there's a drop off between them, Lindelof, Maguire, and but a quiet word for Evans, who wasn't available today, but what a tremendous season he's had. From the ball to Bruno in the with our RVP match winner that time, and the contributions he's made.
I think he's been good, and I look back to the game against Villa, and he did a block he stopped a certain goal, and that could have turned the game on its head. And it's little things like that from Johnny Evans. What he has shown is, despite his age, he can still do a job for us, especially there at the back, which is not an easy role to play in. So full credit to Johnny Evans. I'm delighted with him.
What are your thoughts on Maggie? Harry Maguire.
Maggie Maguire. I've got to take my hat off to him, to be honest. I've got to take my hat off to him, and Maguire kind of epitomises what I saw from United today, which is that resilience, character. You're down, but you're not out. You carry on going, and I think with Maguire, there has been times, especially last season, where we're thinking, we've just got to let this guy go, but he's gone away and just got his head down and worked hard. And what I'm seeing when he's playing for United, there are still a few shortcomings to his game, but I think in terms of the squad, you're stronger with him than without him. So unless they're going to go out and replace him or bring a better player in, I'm happy with him, and especially today, I thought he was great. He got himself forward a couple of times. Probably didn't have the quality that you'd want when he got there, but
I think he's recovered.
I don't think he can do any more. Maguire, to me, is showing that he's given everything for the shirt, and you have to take your hat off and congratulate him.
No, he's recovered. He's recovered from his poor spell, from losing the captaincy. He's put in some good performances.
We'll call him Mags.
And he's been delivering recently when he's had to do a job defensively. Moving forward, if United are going to move forward, I think we need to upgrade him. I think he needs it more so than Lindelof, because when you look at the value in his contract and what he's represented compared to Lindelof and what you might get for him and his salary, I think you need that next tier coming behind Martinez and Varane needs to be of requisite quality. And I think Maguire's done a job for us. He's come in there and he's battled and he's fighting for his career, let's be honest. But in terms of moving forward, if United want to get to that next level, he's had plenty of opportunity this season with Martinez out of the team to see how he could be in possession as a player. Now, I've been impressed with him recently, but over the course of the season, despite his recovery, I don't think our team's better off for having him in the team.
I just think with Maguire, if you can upgrade him, or if you can replace him, then fair enough, and that's something that you've got to look to do. But I think if you can't, and you're only going to bring a player in of the same sort of ilk, or there's nobody really available, and you're buying someone for the sake of it, there's no point, because you've got a guy there who's shown that he can do a job for you. He has fought back. Is he my favourite player? Probably not, but he's done well, and I do respect him. I think he puts a shift in when he's wearing the United shirt.
He's shown some Ian Dowie bounce back ability, hasn't he?
Character.
So he's shown that. But anyway, we can even revisit that when we talk about Ten Hag. But Kobe Mainoo today.
Just Kobe in general. I think I just see a real talent there, and he's playing. He's almost playing with a little bit of freedom,
throwing himself at everything. Unlucky with the deflection on the goal, but what I really enjoyed about him today was the several little mini steps in his little tight dribbles where he was evading. It was just changing. His little touches were just changing the picture and the angles of the dribbles, and I ain't seen this. He obviously got out of that tight space against Wolves when he scored that late winner, but this little dribbling that I've seen him pull out of his armoury a couple of times, I was like, oh, hello, who's your favourite player? Ronaldinho. You know what I mean? This is some really, really good new quality that I've seen within his skill set. But I can't but be impressed with him.
I love what Kobe's bringing to the team, and I think what Kobe's bringing to the team, along with a few of the others, is that sort of United DNA. You've got like a good mix of academy kids in there now. So you've got Kobe, Rashford was in the academy.
What about Scott today, man?
Bringing energy and the right attitude.
Strike too hard today.
You know, so there's you obviously got Garnacho as well. So you're starting to get that DNA of the club, youth, you know, exciting talents. Ahmad.
Oh, see, beat me up, Scotty. Let's have a word for Scotty too hard today. He wormed his way in there for that first goal. Through ball for second. Could have won us the game when Rashford tried to put him in. You know, towards the end where he's sliding. Then he had no hamstrings and he's still running. He's still running with no hamstrings. I love what he was bringing.
I love his attitude.
You know what his attitude said to me, OC? Freedom! He just gave it everything, doing it for Scotland. So, you know what I mean? He and then I think he got taken off. He didn't get taken off. He got moved. Was it Robertson?
No, Robertson did come off.
Did he get taken off? Yeah. So the Scottish roar was louder from McTominay today. Did a good job for us. Bruno obviously gave away the ball. Battle's hard. I don't know. I'm not sure with Bruno. There's that. I'm not sure if he's the guy.
What are you not sure about?
What am I not sure about? I'm not sure about the way he's trying to win free kicks deep in his own box, also nearly costing us games. I think that was a problem. But you know what? At the end of the day, I wouldn't have taken him off for the life of me because there's always a chance we're going to get a penalty, and who would I want to take it but Bruno?
What I liked about Bruno is when he started dropping in deeper. You know, he's got the
defending.
You know, he's got the ability to play any pass at any time.
He did try and play a 50-yarder though, and it didn't have the legs, did it? He got cut out, you know, and he's bit deep.
Well, he set Rashford up in the last second of the full game before he went to extra time. It was a lovely little clip ball.
Do you know what?
Rashford's brought it down, done everything right apart from the finish.
His chance creation is ridiculous, isn't it?
Do you know what's upset me with Rashford though? He obviously wasn't watching Monday Night Football with TT Henry, because TT showed you that you've got to open up your body there. You know what I mean? You've got to touch it down with your left foot. He's brought it down with his right foot. Just turn your body a little bit, open up, and then you've got the near post, which the keeper normally covers, and then you just whip it into the far stick. But you've got to hit the target. And Garnacho showed when he had the chance at the start that he hit the target from a similar sort of position. The ball bobbled up and he's there, Scotty. So I just think that puts the game to bed. That
I agree with you with that. I think when
great character from Rashford to score that third. I thought he took that well.
Listen, I'm behind
McTominay sliding him in.
I'm fully behind Rashford because, you know, he has this unique skill set with his explosive pace and kind of strength as an individual, and when he gets his shots going, they look unstoppable.
What he's doing is he's playing through not the best moment, but he's starting to chip in with goals now, and he's starting to, for me, his body language. People talk about his body language. He's starting to show the right kind of body language.
Well, I mean, look, I know
you like Rashford, and Ten Hag's, and what I like as well is Ten Hag has backed him, because, you know, he's put Rashford centre and taken off Højlund. For me today, Ten Hag has showed that he's a manager in these big games. He's prepared to take risks. You know, sometimes the risks don't pay off. You know, we saw that last season when we played Liverpool away. You know, but today I thought the risks paid off.
It was frustrating to watch the way we were trying to close down, and you're leaving a man extra, and they were just finding the man extra, and they were just keeping possession. You're just thinking, just stay on that defender so he can't pass it to him, and he has to go forward. Make them make a decision rather than just bunning time down the way they were just, you know, just disintegrating the time to just try and see it out.
I think that the two Liverpool goals, they just really shook. You know, there's a real shock to the system. Then United started to look leggy, and then Liverpool just started to kill the game in the second half. They were knocking it around. You know, they had chances, weren't really taking them, snatching at chances, half chances. But the amount of possession that they had, they should have really killed United off with a third goal. And I think United would have capitulated at that point, if I'm honest. But the fact that United did what Roy Keane's always said, you've got to stay in games. He stayed in the game. And to be fair, Ten Hag again made a substitution. He's come on. I'm thinking to myself, Antony, he's a bit predictable, but today he started coming inside a bit more, moving, swapping flanks, coming on the left-hand side, playing well with Ahmad, and the turn and finish with his right foot, which he notoriously doesn't use. I was delighted with that for Antony. Can I see the celebration again? Come on, Jason. Horrible.
Listen, I feel like getting the ball
guys.
and just doing 360s also, if there was space in the studio. But I feel like today was, obviously it was a must-win game. You've got Spurs have lost 3-0 to Fulham. Then Aston Villa have just drawn after losing 3-0 to Spurs.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden,
it's just made it interesting, hasn't it? That today, I think, is a massive confidence boost.
Arsenal getting through
momentum.
in Europe, all of a sudden that fifth spot. You've got something that you're aiming towards. Whereas, come out of the back of the Fulham game when we lost and we looked like we were down on the ground. But I feel like today was a Ten Hag game. We looked at the starting lineup, and straight away the first thing you notice is Wan-Bissaka at left back against Salah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there can't be many United fans that didn't want to see that, because as much as he's not really been playing, he's not been fit.
To be honest, though, it's not something Ten Hag's done. I've very rarely seen him, play a player to man mark. Obviously, I saw it when we played PSG, Wan-Bissaka. I've seen it in the past. When United have played City.
But to take him out of right back and put him over there at left back, I mean, you'd normally see Dalot there.
For me, great management, because 1v1 defended, I think as an attacker, the last thing you want to see is Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
And not just that though, in possession, when he had the ball, it weren't just about defending. I mean, when he had the ball, he was excellent. So I like that. Then in midfield, he's got Mainu, there's no Casemiro, he's going with McTominay. Obviously, McTominay's delivered today. Bruno, central pattern, but then Rashford, Garnacho and Højlund, putting Højlund back in there in a game we must win. I felt like the starting lineup, he got it absolutely spot on there. He lost Evans, threw Lindelof in late. I would have taken that over Mags, even though Mags did a job when he came in there.
Yeah.
Mags, apologies, but you've been upgraded to getting a nickname right now, whereas last time you were absolutely, you were out at the beginning of the season. Then you're looking at the changes he's made. He's brought on Antony. Antony's the talking point, isn't it? 20 minutes to go. Your seasons, your career at United could be over from not just Antony's point of view, but Ten Hag's point of view.
Yeah, go and save your career.
And it's both of them. Like, he's come out there and he's backed him. Like, this guy on it can beat anybody. Over a short period of pace. He's seen him do it in the Champions League. He's seen him doing it. He
believes in him, doesn't he? Some managers have players that they just believe in.
And obviously he's not looked good enough. But what I think about Antony is that if you give him a chance, he can score.
He gives you a different piece to your armory for me.
But I'm just saying, like, in terms of his
traditional right winger,
in terms of the way he finishes, I'm looking at the Barcelona finish last season. The City goal was out of this world.
Yeah, but it was a nothing goal.
No, it wasn't a nothing goal, but it shows his ability to hit a ball from 30 yards and put it in the top bins. That's all I'm saying.
No, it was great.
The Arsenal goal, he showed moments. Even if you go to this season where he hits the post against Spurs early on and then they go and score, which could have been a defining moment, and then he hits the crossbar. Was it the other week in the FA Cup when he come off the bench? In the FA Cup.
I think what I'm
saying is he can strike a ball, but we've not seen him be aggressive enough. He's certainly been out of it this season mentally, hasn't he?
Obviously he's had personal problems. He can be a bit one-dimensional at times for me, Antony, but today, seeing him come more in field, seeing him turn and using his right foot to finish, that's what you want to see from Antony. You want to see him changing wings and taking up different positions. There's obviously quality there. And on a 1v1 against the defender, you do fancy that he has got that skill to beat the man. So when you need a goal, you need a bit of a change. Because ultimately, when he came on, we didn't quite look like we had the energy to go on and
it's
get back
taking Hoyland
in the
off
game.
for Anthony. The thing is there as well.
He's back Marcus as well, hasn't he, by playing Marcus central.
Yeah, he's not shown a right foot though, and we've been told that we're a team that operates in moments. And well, football is about moments. If you can get it to a point where it's balanced enough to be decided upon moments, and this was a massive moment for Antony because it extended our season by getting an equaliser and taking it to extra time. It showed him using his right foot too, and a bit of ingenuity. Great little, a guy who can't use his right foot and is renowned for doing a trick that doesn't do nothing, which is doing Michael Jackson spins. And here he incorporates the Michael Jackson spins, and he what's it called? He turns it, hits it with his right foot, and it was jam on, wasn't it? It was jam on till the to extra time. So look, full credit. Got to bust out one last time. the Tiger celebration. Go on, Antony, get in there.
I did
big time.
I think he did well today.
Even did a right foot cross, didn't he? Yeah. After that, had Van Dijk scrambling.
But also, I think at the moment it's nice to see Rashford coming back into a bit of form. Obviously, delighted to see Hoyland come back because I think he gives us a different dimension.
Critical, absolutely.
But for me, the guy at the moment who I want on the ball when we need a bit of quality is Garnacho.
Oh.
He's just bringing a different level of silks to the left or right hand side. He's flexible, but he started to now, for me, his decision making. And at the end, credit with Ahmad, he's charged that ball down and he's continued going. But Garnacho, to pick the right pass at the right time, the timing of it. When you're coached, when you're a young kid, they always talk about 2v1s. Slide your mate in, and some players don't, they want all the glory, they go for it on their own, but it's that decision in them type of games, in them type of moments, and you saw Garnacho just make the right one. I mean, Ahmad, the way he's touched it away from him, he said in his interview that he wanted to play it back to him, but I thought he touched it away so the defender could not get to the ball, but I thought his angle, because he was going to hit it with his left foot, was just, I just didn't think it was there, and I just thought the finish was sublime.
Yeah, I mean, Garnacho.
And you've been raving about Ahmad. You've been absolutely raving about him for a couple of years, saying that he's not getting the game time he deserves, and you think there's real quality in there that you saw on a regular basis at Sunderland.
Well, I think what I'm always looking at,
and in the Africans Cup.
Thanks for giving me the kudos. But I think what I'm always looking at is, like, when you're looking at the squad, is who do I think we could use moving forward, and who do I think, even if they're doing well or they're struggling, who do I not think should be a part, is going to take us forward? And when I'm looking at our squad, like I was listening to I believe it was Ducker from the Telegraph the other day saying that all the players apart from maybe 6 should be moved on for us to actually compete. And I know that there's this popular narrative that United are a million miles away, but I think there's a lot more in the squad. And with some good, important tweaks, we could be right in the mixer. That's how I feel. I just feel like it's been a false start this season with critical injuries. Now, first of all, if we can't get the players back, all this is off the table. But let's just say our squad's fit. Let's say we've got Martinez firing fit. I mean, well, we've had Casemiro, so we know that Casemiro, even fit at the moment, he doesn't look like Casemiro of last season, does he? He's got the odd goal in him, but it doesn't look there. But when I go through the squad, I like Wan-Bissaka and I like Dalot, as my fullbacks. I like Shaw. And the fact that Dalot can certainly play both sides, then first 3 there, I'm taking them with me to next season. Onana, I'm taking him with me. There's 4. Yeah, Varane, Martinez, I'm definitely not getting rid of Varane because, he's played enough games this season for me. He still looks like he could stand up to a Haaland or a top striker and give him a game. Definitely. He's going to turn up there and not shrink because he's done it at all facets.
He's got the experience for him
at the top level, World Cups, Champions League finals, where it really counts. So I'm happy with what we've got. 3 fullbacks, 2 centre backs. I'm happy with. I think Lindelof or Maguire, one of them. We certainly need a better level of next tier. And I even like what Evans has done. But in midfield, Mainu, Amrabat, I'm still not completely washing my hands with him, but he's not done enough, if I'm being honest. And you know, I need someone. I like some of his characteristics.
Who Amrabat?
Yeah, he's not done enough. So for me, if we lose him, we have to bring somebody in. But in that area with Mainu, we really need a guy to go alongside him, and maybe one more, because I don't know if I can play McTominay every week. I don't think I want to. I want him in my squad, but I don't want to play him every week. And I'm not sure about Casemiro and Amrabat. So that might be an area. But again, the nucleus is good. On the wings, I think I like Garnacho, I like Rashford, I like Højlund. But who are our backups? You know, is there a lifeline for Antony? I think Diallo, I want to see Diallo be given an opportunity in one of them attacking positions. Maybe we need a back. Is Mason Mount going to come back and do something? We certainly are going to need a backup striker. But what I'm saying is, if you get a couple of them, if you upgrade Martial, if you upgrade your Maguire Lindelof position, if you upgrade that other central midfield position, if you get some good signings in there, I like our first 11. I think it can kick us on, but obviously players are going to need to be fit, and we're going to need to have a good start to next season. But at this juncture, do you want to give the keys to Ten Hag for next season?
I mean, where I'm at with Erik Ten Hag is, you know, I'm off the back of a Liverpool victory against Liverpool at home. You know, 4-3. The substitutions that he's made in the game, the way he's taken risks, it's almost Fergie-esque in terms of taking them risks and getting the victory. And in his substitutes were good. You know, you bring on Antony, scores a goal. You bring on Ahmad, scores a goal. For me, United now, and he said it as well, they're building a squad for the future. Now, we might need to upgrade a centre-back. We might need to upgrade a midfielder. We might need to upgrade a striker. But I don't think you necessarily have to get rid of some of the players that you've got, because they're starting to show a unity there, a team spirit. Now, obviously, when you're balancing the books, if there's certain players you've got to sell, I get it. But for me, it's just about adding quality to what we've already got. You know, I don't think we're a million miles away, but, you know, there are still question marks. Have we got a style of play? But when we play with character, resilience, prepared to take risks, especially at home, and play attacking football, you know, we showed today against arguably one of the best teams in Europe for the last few years that we can still mix it. It's just about getting that consistency. And I think with the new infrastructure that's coming into United, why not give Ten Hag, if he can get a trophy this season or have a good cup run and get us in the Champions League. I think if he gets in the Champions League, I think you give him the keys. I think if he doesn't, you're going to have to carefully consider it. Right. But I still think he's done well.
When we talk about style of play, I'll make this point that a lot of times I hear...
Did his jacket fit him today?
It fit him perfectly.
He looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, he looked brilliant.
Great cardigan on.
Great display, tailor-made and everything.
Oh, was it a big game?
It was a big game. Massive game.
Well played to the tailor.
Well, brilliant. Yeah, I think that with when it comes to style of play, I hear Gary Neville a lot talking about he could close his eyes and he knew where everyone would be on the pitch. Him and Beckham's relationship. For example, in the 99 final, he played with Giggs and he'd never had any kind of play with Giggs throughout his career. And then all of a sudden, Giggs is there and they didn't know what each other's game was. Yeah, and United, apart from all the changes they've had this season, they've just not had the continuity to build. No. To have style, you need continuity and chemistry, and you need to build that up. You know, you've got 3 new players who are young kids in Mainu, Garnacho and Højlund, and that there is a spine you can get excited about. Our fullbacks are two fullbacks this season. Well, Dalot in particular, but Wan-Bissaka, after what I've just witnessed there, people I can get behind. Sure, I can get behind him.
I've seen Wan-Bissaka do that a lot. I saw him against Zaha when he was clean through, about to pull the trigger, and he's just come out of nowhere. He's got that in his locker. You look at all the defenders, for example, in the England squad. If you look at the English squad and their defenders, they've got ball-playing defenders. Johnny Stones, fantastic footballer, no doubt about it. But for me, have they got a 1v1 defender? I mean, I know Kyle Walker with his pace, great 1v1 defender. But if you got a defender like Wan-Bissaka, you can just put on a Ronaldo or on a Messi and just say, you know, try and lock him down.
It's worth its weight, isn't it?
It is worth its weight.
If you're putting him on the halfway line,
I've seen Italy do it over the years.
Imagine like you're playing against City in the cup final. You've got you go in for the game. You're 1-0 down. You get a corner in the last. There's 5 minutes to go, or whatever, and you've got one man back there on the halfway line, and that man's Wan-Bissaka against Haaland. At least you've got a guy there who's got athleticism and he's not scared for a tackle.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You feel like at very least he's not just going to get away from him. You know what I mean? And anybody's going to have a tough do.
Him and Dello are showing flexibility. The fact that they can both play right and left, because that's not easy in itself.
Yeah.
You know, but they've both shown some versatility there. And I think that's worth its weight in gold when you can play in more than one position.
I think for me, fundamental, when I look at, well, just looking at Ineos, they've come in there and they've already made some good sound appointments and what we needed. Yeah, but if they're looking over it, first of all, they've got Ten Hag and he's got 1 year left on his contract. If they replace Ten Hag and things don't go well, I'm not going to even look at the new manager. I'm going to be looking at Ineos. That's what I'm going to be looking at. You come in here, you know, instead of supporting a manager who's not got the squad, in my opinion, right now to compete. We might not be a million miles away, but the reason I'm not judging Ten Hag as like, well, listen, you should be competing for top, because I don't think we have a squad viable to compete for top, particularly when we have the injuries that we've had. How can you, if you've got, from what I believe in, one top class centre forward, because Martial hasn't been available, I don't look at Rashford in that position. So if you're not going to give me a backup when Højlund goes out, how can I expect us? Look at our goal scored for this season and all the defensive changes. So for me, get them players in there and give him next season. I mean, in Fergie's third season, was he finishing 1 point off the drop? You know, it took time to weed out, you know, and change the culture.
The thing is football has changed, and you know, I think that when it's not going right for you, people think that, you know, change can automatically bring you success, and you've seen it at clubs like Chelsea that have managed to just, you know, buy the way out, chop and change the managers to get a level of success. And because United have not had that level of success since Fergie's retired, they're now starting to look at the situation and think, do you know what? They're bringing in, obviously, Ineos are coming in now to take over footballing matters, and they may have a different idea. They might take things in a different direction. What I would say, though, is from what I've heard about them is, and the fact that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is supposed to have that United connection, that he's going to be watching the United games. He's going to see what's going on there at the moment. United as a football club, if they can get that infrastructure right, back the manager, make a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 or maybe 4 quality signings, if they can add to that and get some consistency and keep themselves, you know, sort the injuries out. Because I heard somebody saying something about if you don't have the right medical staff in there, these injuries can happen quite easily. So I think they need to have a look at areas that.
They changed the department leaders, particularly for nutrition, and then obviously director of football. So these appointments are coming in. I think one of the other things here, though, is that when we look at the landscape of current available managers and them branding around the likes of Gareth Southgate and even Thomas Tuchel and Nagelsmann, you know, these guys have got there's no evidence that they're going to come in here. I mean, is Tuchel going to come in here and make us play progressive football? Absolutely not. What he was doing at Chelsea was playing off the back foot, even at PSG to a certain degree with a different level of players. Ten Hag has got this young core of like Højlund, Mainoo and Garnacho that he's kind of brought through, that another manager might come in there and might not have that same rapport with. And I just think, look, obviously it's his third season next season. They should, they should be doing their homework and having a look at who's available. I mean, but it's about putting the manager in the right position to have a good season for next season. Not overloading him with pre-season fixtures. Helping, liaising with him for what you're going to do in pre-season.
The thing is United, a club of that stature, they've got the commercial responsibilities. So you're always going to have the type of pre-season that we've been having. I know what you're saying, but that comes part and parcel. For me, with Ten Hag, he's had to deal with so many issues kind of off the pitch. He's had to deal with Antony. He's had to deal with, what Rashford's been going through. He's had to deal with Jadon Sancho. He's had to deal with Mason Greenwood. He's had a lot of issues.
There's real opportunities though, isn't there? In terms of,
he's definitely, you can see the way he's shaping it. He's trying to shape a squad for the future. It's just, out of everything that he's done so far, I think we want to see a bit more from Antony. And tonight was, that great feeling that Antony made a step in the right direction.
He didn't just score though. He looked like he wanted to attack today.
Exactly.
Didn't he? He looked like he was ready to at least try. I don't mind if you fail, but you've got to give it a go, fella.
Giving Ahmad a chance.
Let me see the tiger.
Giving Ahmad a chance as well. I thought that was, that was good to see, because obviously he's had to make a tough decision there with Palestra. I didn't think he was quite up to the grade, but Ahmad, today he just showed absolute quality. The way he won the ball back and driving with it up the pitch.
On several occasions, yeah. I mean, he looks incredible, doesn't he?
I like him. I mean, obviously because of his size, on the face of it, you look at him and you think to yourself, how can he come in? But he's just got quality, and I think quality will always shine through.
Yeah, I think when there was him and Palestra both coming in at that low price, I just never saw enough quality from Palestra, but I've always seen the quality from Ahmad. It was just a case of, when you get your chance, are you going to be able to deliver it? And
what's your minimum expectations for Ten Hag this season? Because my minimum expectations is, what I think he needs to achieve is, I think he needs to achieve Champions League football. I think that's his number one directive for United.
Do you know what? I don't.
And if he can have a good cup run as well, which obviously he's going to, because we've got Coventry in the next round. No disrespect to Coventry, but you'd fancy us to, to be favourites for that one. And then you've got a final, an FA Cup final, arguably against City.
I don't want it. I don't make it as finite as that. Like, okay, so for me, what I would like to see is at least get to the cup final, because we've got Coventry. We'll definitely get to the cup final, in the cup final, it doesn't matter if you lose 8-0 or 1-0. I know it really doesn't. The Liverpool game, once you lose, you lose. You're there to win. And in the league right now, if we get 5th, whether that gets us into Champions League or not, the fact that you would just get that 5th position from this point, for me, I'm looking at the totality of Ten Hag, and I'm just like, no matter what he does this season, I'd give him next season with support. And next season, I'll be watching how the team plays, and because we came into this season.
I think football's not like that though, no. And I think he can have 3 or 4 bad results in a row, and that's him gone. So
it could be.
It
could be. But you're asking me what my aim is. For my aim, I don't have any anymore. For me, I would put.
So if you lost every game from now to the end of the season, you'd keep him, would you?
I don't think he will, but
no, it's not going to happen. I'm just saying, but if you're going to start speculating, you've got to take all things into consideration.
Well, listen, what I'm saying is I believe in him, and I want him to have the opportunity. What I'm saying is though, is that this season we came into the season, and from the first game, the setup didn't seem right, did it? It didn't seem right. We had Casemiro in on his own.
So no matter, you're basically saying that you're happy with Ten Hag for next season.
For next season, but next season is.
They need to add quality to it. I don't think we're a million miles away. Me personally, United need to be back in the Champions League.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it should impact his job. Whether it does or not, only time will tell. But I think for me, Champions League football and an FA Cup final, arguably against City.
Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then
ahead of myself. If we got that, I'd be delighted.
But if we could right the wrongs of last season in the FA Cup, because we weren't overly happy with that, although we did give them the game.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, De Gea has had a bit of a howler for me. I think one of the goals. He's rooted, but it looks like he could dive for it. I don't know if he could have got it, but he could have dived for it. The second one, it's fumbled in from about 18 yards, and I need him to be able to read that and anticipate it. So for me, he's apart from his contract situation and everything else, the fact that he didn't turn up in that cup final and it looked like it cost us, it cost him his job. And so I can understand why people would say, well, if we're playing rubbish in these big games, why shouldn't Ten Hag lose his job? If he's going to make other people lose theirs. I just feel like ultimately, I've seen enough out of Ten Hag before he arrived at United, since he's been at United, and I want to see him have a squad that at least has 2 centre forwards in it. You know what I mean? Give me 2 centre forwards who are fit, and that's going to be key as well if we can't keep players fit.
I think we've explored this segment. I think we're happy with the fact that Ten Hag, you know, although they have lost, I think it's at least 10 games this season, you know, he has still showed some quality. And what we're saying is, with the right support and the right pieces, there's a manager there who can take us forward.
Do you know what the goal difference is for United?
It's about 1 or 2. You've got the stats in front of you.
39 for 39 against. So listen, you give us another striker in there and you improve. There's loads of scope for improvement. Loads of scope. And you just think, like, if we can get off on the right foot, like we didn't start with anywhere near our first 11, or we didn't really get to our first 11 until, when was it? January, and we went on this little winning streak. Yeah. So, you know, we need to come into the season with good fitness, with players coming in who are fit as well. Can't have Mason Mount come in there, broke down in no time. Amrabat was already down, and Højlund was injured too. But no, absolutely. Okay, I'll see. Looking at the Champions League, Inter Milan, who were almost 13 straight wins before they took on Atletico and went out in dramatic style in penalty shootouts. Drew today to Napoli, but they've won the league. It's practically already sewn up. But yeah, probably.
I like Inzaghi. I like the way he sets his team up.
Yeah, I'm disappointed they're out, really. I thought they were a good shot from Italy, but credit to Atletico Madrid, who just...
Thuram had more than enough chances to put that one to bed, but I thought as soon as Depay came on, you know, and Riquelme, to be fair, he was driving forward. He was looking lively down the left-hand side.
I was just like, Morata and Griezmann, the pair of them at Atletico just look extremely
They're a good
dangerous.
team. They've always
been a good team. They
get beat
today
team.
off Barca. They were down 2. I know they were down 2-0 when Lewandowski scored late on today. But that was a really top-class game between them two.
They're a tough team to play, Atletico. I think a lot of teams will look to avoid them just because they are a tough team to play against. But, you know, looking at what they did, I thought they did well, considering that they were 1-0 down in the second leg. I thought they did well to win it. Obviously, Real Madrid are cruising.
They're taking on Dortmund in the next game. Sancho coming alive with a goal. I think that could go either way, but I would lean to Atletico Madrid. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think Atletico. I mean, I think Dortmund at home are a good team, but I just think Atletico, that doggedness, the will to defend. Simone is the manager. Difficult, compact team to play against, with quality and options off the bench.
Against few moments, Sancho, I think I'd back Atletico. I think they've got a lot of firepower in there. You've said Depay.
For me, Sancho's got to go.
Griezmann. Yeah. Well, Sancho's the thing is, we can move Sancho. You've got Greenwood money. You've got a couple of exits there before you even get going.
There's opportunities, but I just think
like looking at United's transfer,
his relationships are repairable. If you're going to keep Ten Hag on, he's got to go.
Say United had 50 million just. You're going to get at least 50 million for Greenwood and Sancho. There's no reason you can't get two players.
I think the price tag for Greenwood is like €50, and I think the 50 million euros, and I think the price tag for Sancho is about 35.
If you can
recover that, you know, that's one player that you can bring into the squad that's going to be quality.
If you could get one of Elise or Eze, which one would you go for?
To play which position?
Well, I'm one of the flanks for United.
I'm buying Chiesa.
No, but I'm just saying, if you could pick out of the Crystal Palace guys, I know we've been linked with Eze and Eberek and Elise.
I like them both, but I personally, I'd go for Chiesa.
Do you know what? Here's what worries me about all three of them is injuries. Even Chiesa, you know, I've seen it. He's had his injury problems, hasn't he?
It's not just that.
But I do like his character.
If you look at the way United play, they tend to play with two wide guys and a striker. Now, if you're gonna say Rashford's in your team, he's your left forward, and you're gonna say Højlund's your striker, or you bring in a striker who's gonna rotate with Højlund, you have to say Garnacho's on the right wing. And for me, I'm going all out and I'm giving him the 7. I'm showing him that kind of love, because I just think
I'll see.
me for Garnacho. I'm seeing a guy there, at 18 who embodies what United's about. He's done it in the academy. He's come up, and you know what? In that game there against Liverpool, when we were 2-1 down, I was thinking to myself, a diag to Garnacho, just get him on the ball because he causes problems. He's a real player.
I don't want to make this about me, but you said he should have number 7.
Well, I think he should have number 7.
Well, you know, when it was going down, we were talking about him. I mean, every time I see Buggy now, Joe, I am. When we went to watch a game with Marley, and Buggy let it slip that I felt like Garnacho was one day going to be a Ballon d'Or right winner.
Oh, no.
And the thing is, it's like you need the full build up, right? I think he has that ceiling. Yeah, and I saw it for me in the Youth Cup. That's what I was looking at. Okay.
No,
but listen,
I don't like where you're going.
I know, but listen.
Because the thing is you could say that about a handful of players. That's the thing with football. It's subjective. It's a game full of opinions. But he's special, isn't he? But at the end of the he's absolutely, he's top drawer. He's different gravy. But you've got players out there. You've got your Bellinghams, your Vinny Juniors, your Mbappes. You know, to start talking Ballon d'Or, these kids, Haaland. You know, you're talking these kids who've already got these established stats. They've already won World Cups, Champions Leagues. You know, Garnacho's still got that to win in his locker. But what he is showing at the Theatre of Dreams, where you've got just short of 80,000. You've got new infrastructure coming in, talks about building a bigger stadium. You've got a kid there who is just not afraid to get out there and express himself. And for me, he embodies everything that United want. A wide player, attacker, good 1v1s, good decision making. You know, he's resilient.
I mean, in losing
character.
Mason Greenwood, we look like we were losing one of the greatest talents that the academy's seen in like the last 2 decades, really.
Greenwood, was a special player. Is a special player, but for me, Garnacho just gives me that little.
Well, Garnacho's.
He gives me the little sprinkle of magic dust.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Greenwood was more of a forward, was more of a goal scoring centre forward, hybrid forward. Garnacho is your flair winger. I don't even know if he's ever going to be a centre forward.
I've grown up watching United. They've always had flair wingers.
He's a winger, and he's a
Kanchelskis,
Kanchelskis, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got brilliant today, brilliant decision making as well. I get so much criticism on decision making, but makes the right decision. So would we say PSG over? Would you have PSG over PSG or Barcelona? We'd go with Atletico, but PSG, Barcelona. How are you feeling about that?
I think PSG with Mbappe can cause problems to any team because I just think on his day he's incredible. But I think Barcelona are a better footballing team, and I think they'll beat him over 2 legs. I like the way Barcelona play football. I always have done, and I like the young kid they've got, the 16-year-old. He looks like the real deal.
PSG are 22 games undefeated.
Yeah, but they play.
No, I know.
They're playing in a Happy Meal league.
I know. Kylian just scored another hat trick today. No, I get it. You know, Barca second in Spain. They're going to dominate the ball, aren't they?
Yeah.
But PSG have got the out ball. I'd lean to Barca.
I'm thinking Barca.
And I feel. Do you feel strongly about it? Do you think it's like a 70-30? Or an 80-20?
I think it's a game I'm going to look forward to watch because there's ballers in both teams there. But I do like Barca. I've always liked the DNA.
I thought City were going back to Barca actually.
You've got the fixtures.
I thought Pep was going back to see Barcelona. No, it's PSG versus Barca.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't get that wrong, otherwise the looks might have to find.
Yeah, so it's Atletico Dortmund. We go Atletico. PSG Barcelona lean towards Barca. Real Madrid City. Oh Lord.
You're joking. I didn't even realise Real Madrid had City. Do you know what? Real Madrid have got tools to hurt you, but I think Manchester City are a better footballing team, and I don't say that lightly because there is real quality there. There's real quality in that Real Madrid team. However, I just think Man City just seems to control games. They seem to control games, and they've got, since they added Haaland to the team, they've just got a real goal scorer in there as well.
Well, they've obviously there's some moving parts because they've lost Gundogan, they've lost Mahrez, and these were two big players for them, weren't they? Especially in the business end last season. I just don't think.
But you've still got Bernardo Silva.
Yeah,
You started
and obviously
you started the last final.
Foden's coming to the front. I look at it like
Foden was always going to come into that team. He's too good.
The last 10 games of last season, Haaland was quiet. Kevin De Bruyne had moments. Both of them two are going to show a lot more towards the back end of this running, I believe. There's no way Haaland's not going to score in 14 games.
Do you know who the wow factor is in this? Is the wow factor is going to be between Pep and Ancelotti, because one thing Ancelotti can do, and has shown time and time again, that he knows how to set his team up
and give him a chance.
And the thing is you've got a guy like Jude Bellingham, who at Dortmund against City still seems to dominate the midfield battle against some quality players.
Last year, the home and away is two big things, because I know they've taken out the away goal, but last year Real Madrid were really good at home, but De Bruyne scored that cracking goal, leveled it up, and then at home they ran over them.
What a game that's going to be.
Yeah, City ran over them at home, but the fact that they've got them links,
they're that good, them two teams. It could be a final.
You'd have to lean to City again. I'd probably say 65-35. I do give Real Madrid more than a boxing chance, because they've got experience.
Because Ancelotti's in that team, and because they have players of Vinny Jr.'s ilk, absolute match winners, and you've got a guy Bellingham. He looks like 7 foot tall when he's playing.
Even the other players like Rodrigo, Joselu,
Modric,
whenever they come in.
Cruz.
Was it Joselu who came off the bench against United and scored an overhead kick in pre-season?
Yeah.
That was a Garnacho. That was a wonderful goal.
They've got some players. It's going to be a good game, but I'm edging City on that one.
Yeah, well, I'd say about 65-35. I'd lean to City, but I don't think it's a done deal.
I think I'm more 60-40.
Do you know what I think's a 50-50?
Go on.
A 50-50.
What's 50-50?
Arsenal Bayern. I think it's 50-50.
Oh, Lordy. No, I don't.
What do you think? You think Bayern?
60-40 Bayern, man. Musiala, you know what I'm thinking about. You know what I feel about that guy. That guy's unbelievable.
Do you know what? You're backing Kane over any of them.
Do you know what? It's not just that. For me, Bayern, I think Alphonso Davies is arguably the best left back in the world. I think he's incredible. I've never seen, I mean, people talk about players who speed. There can't be anybody quicker than him in world football. No. He's just so fast. And he really does accelerate up that wing. I thought they were unlucky last season against City, Bayern Munich. So I think they're strong, Bayern Munich at the back. Obviously they've got a good goalkeeper. I think the midfield, they've got players in there who can hurt you all over. And then you've got an absolute finisher in Harry Kane, but they've got pace as well. They've got everything, Bayern. Arsenal are a good footballing team. Arteta has definitely sailed that ship in the right direction.
They've got a big game against City, haven't they?
But it's not just that. For me, they don't have the mental. It's like United since Fergie's left. We've kind of struggled a really bit with that mentality. I think City have got it under Pep, but I don't think Arsenal have it. And that's why they didn't win the Premier League last season.
Yeah, but they've grown from that.
They have grown from it.
They've grown.
But have they grown to a level where they're going to win a Champions League against Bayern Munich?
No, but they've scored 4 and 5 goals. But look at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, who are not going to win a league, who need the Champions League this year just to get out of it. I just think it's a closer battle, because Arsenal are in good form. Now, listen, City could go there and burst Arsenal's bubble. Harry
Kane coming back to London.
Yeah, but
there's an ex-Tottenham player against Arsenal.
Listen, I'm thinking Bayern now.
I'm thinking Harry Kane is coming out of there.
Do you know what it is?
With a hat-trick ball.
Arsenal have been putting away teams recently.
Yeah, they have.
The mentality's been different. We knew they weren't going to do nothing last year.
What they've really done is they've tightened up the defence.
I think City will...
Can you keep Harry Kane quiet?
I think City will pick them at the end.
City will, of course they will.
And then we'll see how they react from that, because listen, everyone has a blip, but how do you bounce back from it?
There's no player at the moment able to do what Johnny Stones is doing. Trent can do the passing side of it and probably excel a little bit more, to be honest, in terms of passing. And I'm seeing Dalot starting to play that role for United, coming in, taking the ball in between two players, looking comfortable, playing good passes. But for me, Johnny Stones is just he's almost reinvented that position to a degree. And I just feel that against Arsenal, they have Zinchenko who plays a similar type of role, and I just don't think he does it as well as Stones.
Yeah, he's not on the same level, is he?
And they don't have the same. They're not clinical up front. I know they've been scoring goals and putting teams away, and I do think.
But do you back
Saka's
Havertz to keep doing that? No, he does it in little spells and little moments, but he's not done it over his career.
I don't see him as a striker. I see him more as a false nine.
Absolutely, but
I see him with quality. He's a quality footballer.
But he's popped in there with big goals, and he's done it sporadically through his career. But has he? Does he do it enough?
I think it's a big test for
him. Finally, or leaning towards the final parts. Obviously, Roma come away from Mourinho. Mourinho won the Conference League, gave them the first silverware in almost 20 years. Then gets to a final, a bit off the pace in the league, playing quite a defensive style of football. Eventually gets potted. Roma are exploding forward now with De Rossi in 5th place, just behind Bologna, then Juve, Milan, into fighting for a Champions League spot, slapping Brighton all the way through Rome, 4-0, with an incredible display. You've got Dybala delivering, Lukaku delivering, Pellegrini unshackled. How do you feel about that whole dynamic? Do you think it was right for Mourinho to go even at the time? And are you liking what you're seeing from Daniele De Rossi?
Well, first of all, I'm delighted with Daniele De Rossi. He's a proper Romanista.
2006 Campione.
Absolutely love the guy, and I think he's done quality since he's come in.
The passion.
He has got the seat. He's shown that he was a captain. Whether he'd go into management or coaching, I wasn't sure, but it looks like a really good appointment. Almost like a Xavi to Barcelona type appointment, because he's got that kind of affiliation and love with the fans, and he played as captain. So I love the De Rossi.
It did feel a bit like a Solskjaer Inzaghi appointment. Yeah, it's just appease them.
No, absolutely.
But he's grabbed it with both hands, hasn't he?
I think there was an element of that, but I also think that Roma, under Mourinho, first of all, goes down in history for bringing that European trophy across. But like when Mourinho was at United, Mourinho will, in interviews, he's a game changer, because he'll sit there and he'll tell you about all the things that he's won and how great his achievements are, and there's no doubt about it. He's a special manager, but seeing him at United and seeing the style of football that he was playing, seeing him at Rome and the style of football they were playing, he wants attacking players to be defensive minded. He's changing.
Like Pogba. He bought Pogba for 100 million and had him playing DM.
What he does is he tries to change the characteristics, the fundamentals of certain players that he's got. And what happens is you get players playing within themselves. Now, I'm not saying, first of all, if Mourinho, if you were to argue with him, he'd pull out a load of stats. And I saw his interviews with Rio and Steve Harrison and that, and he comes across well. I do like him, and if he comes to Old Trafford, he gets a reception from me. But in terms of Rome, there's that romantic story with Rome, that even though there's a few things that they have in their DNA, which is loyalty, attacking football, willing to attack, willing to entertain. It's almost that gladiatorial.
He was very loyal to Rome, though. He turned down.
No, he was. But at the end of the day, you want to see Rome. You want to see teams come to Rome, and you want to see Rome really have a go with them. And I just think with Mourinho, he's a bit pragmatic. Try and get the 1-0 up and hold back. He'd take off his attacking players. And I think since De Rossi's come in, he's just pumped the love back in, pumped the Roma spirit back in throughout the club. And you're just seeing now, I love watching Roma again now. That's the biggest compliment I can give to De Rossi. I'm loving watching them again, because they look like they've got real heart and soul. And the goalkeeper in the penalty shoot-off was just amazing.
There's some games where I've seen Roma up the first leg, and then the second leg him just literally try and play for a draw, and you're watching people go into the corner flag and just try and waste time.
So we thank him. He goes down in history, but he moves off.
What I like about him, he's made a lot of them players champions. He's shown them the way to give themselves a chance to get themselves into a position where they could win it. Obviously, Zaniolo scored for Villa today. He obviously gets the winner and takes them there. But watching them over the last couple of seasons after they won the Conference League, what was depressing me a little bit is I really enjoy watching Pellegrini, one of my favourite players, the Roma captain. And he's obviously like a fantasista, but he can play deeper. He'll do a bit of everything. And I just found him going further away from goal. Whenever Mancini had him, he'd be right up there and he'd be creating these moments. And at Roma, he was just, and all of a sudden, De Rossi's coming there. We've got Pellegrini 20 metres, 30 metres further up the pitch, and he's scored 5-6 goals since he's come in. Another winner today against the Swallow. And
listen, we know Mourinho. We know Mourinho plays. He plays a 4-5-1, and he's very defensive, and it's the right appointment. I just wish Mourinho well, and hopefully he can get another big job.
Yeah, I'd
rather focus on the. I'd rather focus on the Euros.
I didn't feel like he deserved to be sacked. At the same time, I think it was a good move for the club, and the club's gone in. It's propelled them, hasn't it?
Have the club move forward?
Yeah. No, it's been a good move.
It's had its desired effect.
But like, even if would you sack David Moyes now after what he's done for West Ham? They've won 3 trophies in their 100-year history, surely.
I didn't want Mourinho in the first place because I don't like his style of football. For me, it's a done deal. It's a done topic.
Well, when we're heading towards Euros, obviously we've got the draws are out there. Italy, we've got we've got Croatia, we've got Albania, and then we've got our friends, the Spanish, who we always seem to struggle with. I mean, so it looks like Croatia, a team that it's a bit like us, isn't it? Defensive, possession, don't create a lot of chances, but a good team. Spain, a team that we've struggled with, and Albania, a team we should beat. So it's a meaty group. Then in the Nations League, we've got France, Israel, and Belgium. So a couple of hefty opponents in there. All I can say about Italy moving forward, no expectations. I'm just grateful that, first of all, we're at the Euros. But I am happy that we've got Spalletti in there, a guy that is going to make them all throw the kitchen sink at every game and attack and try and really go for it. Might not always work out, but I don't want to see us there waiting to die a slow death. Go out there and go on your sword if you're going to go out there.
There's a lot of top teams in the Euros this year. There's no doubt about it. But I think with Spalletti, he's got an identity back for Italy. They look like a well-balanced team.
Napoli have struggled.
And now some of the players have come back. Some of the players have come back into the Italy fold because we've had a few long-term injuries. But I think in the Euros, if we've got all our best players, firing on all cylinders, I'm excited as to what we can do because Italy are a tournament team. We've shown that over the years. We're the champions. We're the reigning champions. We're defending the trophy. Let's see what we can do.
I don't know if I'm that excited at this moment. I'm
excited. Have you seen the new kits? The away kit's a joke.
The away kit is nice, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how excited I am because
tutti guan.
The thing is, we're very unlikely to get to where we got to when we won it last time. We're very unlikely, I think, to climb that again. It's an outside chance, isn't it? We're outsiders.
You've got a different vibe with me then because I just think Italy in a tournament. I just always give them a clean slate before every tournament. The only tournament that Italy played in at the very start where I was a little bit dubious was when Conte took over and he did a great job.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I'm happy with us. Let's see where we go. But I'd expect Italy, and these are my expectations, semi-finalists at least. Because that's the expectation I have of Italy. We're a good tournament team.
No, we are, but do you know what I look at straight away? I'm looking at this thing, and I'm looking at the group, and I think Spain's going to be really, really tough.
It's always a tough game. Keep the ball.
Spain. I think I'm almost. If we're looking at percentages before going to play Spain at the moment, I feel like we're 25% to beat them. Scotland beat them. I feel better if I was Scotland than Italy because we're going to try. They're going to play perfectly against Italy. They always do. They're going to play. No, they play their system as good as they can play their system against us. And I fancy Spain against us under current circumstances. I think it's 50-50 with Croatia, and I think we should take down Albania. For me, I just want to get out of the group. If we get out of the group, then all of a sudden we're dangerous, because I think when it's knockout time and when you're going toe-to-toe, I think we've got the characters. I like my Barellas and my Bastonis. I like my Chiesas, Pellegrini. If Retegay can get in there, I like I like DiMarco. You know, I think there's a lot of Darmian bagging a goal again today. I'm happy with Darmian in my team as well. Mancini at Roma, I'm not going to have a heart attack if he's playing. You know, obviously we have to see what happens with the midfield. You know, that's always going to be like who's he going to be coming with.
I trust Spalletti. I think his selections are always good. You know, he's always looking for players doing well and bringing them in.
He's passionate, he's attacking, and he's a winner.
We play good football. We've got a proper identity underneath him. I mean, yeah, it's the Euros in one way. You know, you can't help but think about Mancini and Vialli and that love story. But for me, Spalletti, you know, he showed it at Napoli, and hopefully now he can show it with Italy. He's had enough time to get them going, and I'm expecting a good year. I'm glad we're in. To be fair, I'm glad we actually made it through to the Euros. Yeah. But now we're through to the Euros. You know, I'd put us right up there because I just think we're a good tournament team. I
showed you before we came out the Jurgen Klopp's post-match press conference, so why not flip it back and go to that? So Jurgen Klopp is asked about, you know, given the fact that they've had so much, was it character and so much desire and why was it lacking towards the end of this game? And he pointed out, he said it was a dumb question, didn't he? Pointed out the fact that, well, we've not played as many games. And then, so United haven't played as many games as them. That's why they may be fatigued. And said that the guy was out of shape. He was absolutely completely out of hand. And to me, Jurgen Klopp over the last 18 months, and he's had 2 tough seasons, hasn't he? Either side of a good season, he's had 2 really tough seasons. And if it was a United coach there, he'd be getting fined week in, week out. And he gets away with mother. He's been getting away. Now, don't get me wrong. He deserves his plaudits, but out of bounds, out of pocket today. Didn't like his conduct at all.
Do you know what? I mean, I'm not there with that. I mean, I think Jurgen Klopp, he stormed out of a press conference or whatever, but I think you look at him as a manager. He's passionate. You know, he's very, very passionate. He's Liverpool through and through. He showed that in his tenure there, and he's taken them to levels and heights that I didn't think they would reach.
No, it's been fantastic, but in the media, the way he talks to referees, the way he deals with the media when it's not all on his side is condescending and he's a bit, you know, for someone who's such a humble guy and let's fight and let's, you know, bringing everyone together.
No, I like it. I like
it. Do you know what? The needle.
Because at the end of the day,
he's probably one of them Dennis Wise guys. You like him if he's on your team. Maybe I'd like him, you know what I mean, if he was my manager, because I love the gusto, the passion. He does, but you need to be a bit more. I prefer Ten Hag in front of the press conference, who's honest, but respectful.
With Jurgen, he comes across as honest, passionate. Listen, he's just a top manager, and I'm not gonna begrudge him being a little bit upset losing to his biggest rivals in the quarterfinal of an FA Cup, with the potential they could have played Coventry, with the potential to them getting into a final. And you'd like to think after already one cup, you know, there's an opportunity there to win another one. So he'll know that. But at the same time, they're still fighting for the league and they're still fighting for the Europa. So at the end of the day, he's doing a great job.
Listen, sometimes, right, when you're running a marathon, it's
his last season, it's his last FA Cup run.
Sometimes every year I'm hearing about Liverpool on for the quad, but sometimes when you're running a marathon, sometimes your quad goes. And today the quad went, didn't it?
Yeah,
right at the death, you know what I mean? McTominay's hammy went, Klopp's quad went.
McTominay, just a shout out to McTominay, could hardly run at the end. That was unbelievable from the lad.
I love everything he's had to say all season. You know, when you look at Pogba, what he was as an individual.
I don't want to talk about Pogba.
No, but the way he was, the media, you know, the media messaging through Maina Real, when you used to look at that and you used to just all the time like, I don't care if it's him or if it's his agent. It's cringing. Whereas McTominay's come out there, we're behind the manager, we're doing our best. I'm committed. You know, I just love all the sound bites.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'll see for 18, yeah, with a nice little 4-3 win, is that the way to wrap it up? Look, loads of international build-up on its way. So definitely probably going to be looking to react to Italy's latest fixtures, and hopefully United have something to end the season high on. I mean, there is still something to play for.
It builds momentum.
There's still something to play for. You know, I mean, right now he's got a hope to get in the Champions League, but you know what? it's a tall order. It's still not a gimme. You need Spurs and Villa to still come down a little bit.
It's about momentum. It's about winning games. You know, I think they said it a couple of weeks ago. Every game's like an FA Cup final. It really is. But you know, there's a lot of positives. Did I think we were going to beat Liverpool 4-3 at Old Trafford today? No. Did I think we were going to win? I thought, yeah, I did. I was speaking to Zach's dad, Addy, and I said, you know, I do fancy us. I said at Old Trafford as well. I think that we can definitely cause problems.
Hanging around with me and my positive vibes, you know me. I'm always an optimist with it.
Dan was at the game, and Joey's coach, and I messaged him just to say, I think we'll look up for it. You know, after we scored. Anyway, he messaged me at half time. He goes, we did look up for it, you know, with a laughing face. So what, you know, I've seen some of the posts of different people that have been to the game. What an experience if you went to the game tonight. I mean, it's been what United can provide you with is just some absolute classics.
Do you know what? In the Champions League,
they always do it the hard way.
In the Champions League this year, we were fighting in all the games, but we just weren't able to close the game off or see it off. But today, great resilience, great fight, and that's the thing with knockout football. You know what I mean? So someone's got to go, and it's Coventry, isn't it? So so we'll definitely be back for the Coventry fixture, and
Certainly
hopefully building towards a cup final in Wembley, and hopefully a bit of redemption against the City team that, you know, comfortable, probably looking for another treble, and I wouldn't talk against that at this juncture, would you?
No. Definitely.
So from myself, JJ, Coyle, and Luciano, grazie, and see you next time, guys.
Buonasera ragazzi.